the great job scam and the morons behind it. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, January the 7th, 2024. My God, 2024. In the meantime, here we are. Markets had a tough week, but we'll get more of that in our market report. And as we look at the jobs report that came out on Friday, what did we find out? Well, that we are being led around by the nose by a bunch of morons that make us look even dumber than them because we're allowing it to happen. And as we look at the jobs report, the first thing you can bet on is the 216,000 jobs they reported will be adjusted lower as it has been for the last 11 months. Each and every month after the jobs report has come out, the following month, the results have been altered and worse than what was reported to begin with. So once again, the moronic system that we live under and allow these people to operate is frightening, okay? I mean, government and social assistance accounted for almost 60% of the jobs in 2023. Now, think about that for a minute. 60% of our jobs are either government or social assistance. Now, government was never intended to be the largest employer in the world. Okay, that's number one. Number two, social assistance programs are doing what? Oh, they're buying votes. Okay. Let's be clear on how we got to where we got and how we got into this shithole that we now live. You can tell me, and I'll take all the fucking hate mail you want about that this is the greatest country in the world. I cannot argue with that it is still the greatest. But the greatest pile of shit is still a pile of shit. And that's what we're turning into in this country right now as we watch the common battle of idiots that are stealing our money, stealing our freedom. Okay. Again, whether you agree with them taking with what Donald Trump did or didn't do, if you don't like Donald Trump, there's no problem. That I have no issue with whether you like him or you don't like him. The issue I have is that you sit back and you allow them to take a person off the ballot, which restricts your opportunity to exercise your right to vote for somebody because they are not on the ballot. And I don't want to hear about the write-in bullshit because we already know that our entire election system is a scam anyways. Okay. Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, it's a scam because you don't get true choice in this country. You get two idiots that are put up to give you a choice of the lesser evil or the lesser good. That's your choice, okay? I mean, you're going to tell me that in this country, the best we can put up is an 80-year-old Alzheimer's senile old man that's a stupid-ass racist or another big mouth that can't keep his mouth shut that actually had the country humming wonderfully but couldn't keep his mouth shut long enough to get voted for. You're going to tell me that's the best we can do in this country? And you still want to sit there and tell me that everything is the greatest? Okay, when you can't get people, and why don't people want to run for office? Well, there ain't enough money in it compared to private industry, which is what we should be more focused on, is capitalism and private industry, because that gives everybody a fair shot at it. Or is it because people don't want to be abused as you're watching what's happening to President Trump? Okay. And it's amazing the difference. If you have two guys, okay, and one gets constantly abused and the other one gets lauded, and here we have probably the one in office today is done far worse than the one they're abusing every single day. That would probably kind of tell you about the fear that they may be exercising about having that person become the president of the United States once again. But wonderful. What a great job what President Biden has done is the debt is now over $34 trillion. Okay. And we're now paying $1 trillion in interest. Isn't that wonderful? Which will bring another budget showdown. And God forbid, God, would it be great to just shut it down? Okay. We need to shut this government down and rebuild. We need to start over because the people that are representing us, whether they be left or right, are basically just sticking it up your ass, okay, and screwing you. That is what we're watching that take place in this country, okay? You've got Biden suing Texas to stop the persecution or the deporting of illegal aliens. Well, they're illegal, President Biden. They shouldn't be here. You want to come to this country, come in like you're supposed to come in through the system, not because you can cross the border because the left has decided to open up the borders to continue to let their voters come in, okay, so that they can give them more benefits so California can continue to spend 72% of their budget on illegal aliens, okay? I mean, that is not the way that this country is supposed to be run, okay? And not to mention, okay, you're seeing a fairly big change at the polls right now. And of course, Trump is leading, okay, whether you like it or not. Right? But at the end of the day, why is Trump leading? Because the free money is running out, okay? And it's showing up in the polls. Because listen, as you can obviously see, look at Kamala Harris, look at Gavin Newsom, look at all of your great left leaders. How do they win? They win by buying votes, by giving more benefit packages that you, the taxpayer, get to finance. Okay. Now, do you want to work to finance for somebody else who could work but doesn't want to so that you can pay for them? To me, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay. That's not the way that I was brought up in this country. Okay. I was brought up to work and be able to support myself. And if it took 2 jobs to do it, I took 2 jobs. Okay. And now we've got, of course, as I've said all along, the bank bailouts. The emergency lending window continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger, okay, which means that banks are borrowing money from the Federal Reserve, which means that when this whole system melts down again, and it will, I mean, this is not new. This is going on as long as markets have been around. We've had meltdowns. And, of course, the meltdowns now become much bigger and much more of a crisis because we gave too much power to an organization that shouldn't be in business, the Federal Reserve. Okay, the Federal Reserve, who continues to try to manipulate the system to benefit themselves, to benefit the government, okay, to fleece the American taxpayer out of their money. Okay, again, you like giving away your money, okay, for nothing, for bullshit, okay? If you like that, hey, God bless, write a check. But I'm not, and I don't want my family and anybody else's family who believes in freedom and believes in true capitalism to have to finance the crooks and the criminals that continue to steal our money. Okay, I mean, you know, the amount of things going on in this country right now are horrible. Okay, it is a horrific event at what we're watching as we approach the next election, which is obviously 11 months away. But the manipulation of the left right now, the bullshit hiding behind everything, the claims for racism on every single thing, which we'll get more into our commentary when we get there, okay, is making me sick. Okay, watching the destruction of what was once the greatest place for freedom, the greatest place for opportunity, being destroyed by a president who has Alzheimer's and couldn't think as when he didn't have Alzheimer's, he was a dumbass. Okay, and allowing all these other people to destroy the freedom of this country, all with their own agenda, from the metaverse, from Meta and Google, who are so big that they don't want the competition, to the government that continues to figure out ways to tax you, okay, and make up lies about what inflation is, okay. So we look at where we've come, look at where we were, and look at where we are now. And if we continue at this pace, imagine where you'll be 5 years from now. It ain't a pretty picture. And if you don't step up now, you may never have another chance. You've got 11 months to think about where you want to be and where you want your family to be after this election comes up, because this could be one of the biggest elections in the history of the United States of America. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, Todd Bubba Horowitz. It is Sunday, January the 7th, 2024. And of course, we're going to step out here for a break and come back with our market report right after the break. What's up, kids? Happy New Year. Hope you had a great start to the new year. And of course, as you know, I've got some sponsors that sponsor the show. And again, these are brokers. And of course, I give you the brokers. Why? Because I think they're better for you. Again, whether you use them or not, nobody cares. I've got many brokers, but I really want to help you because, of course, part of your business, if you're trading, is your liquidity, which is your commissions and other costs and other things that you do. So certainly, hey, I use, among others, but my predominant broker for futures and commodities is Capital Trading Group. Okay. They are the best. They do a lot of partnerships with us. They do great letter of direction. Check them out. info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. Okay. And of course, our equities and options broker, Tradier, $10 a month. I mean, are you kidding me? It saves me $100,000 a year in commissions alone. Plus the fact that our systems with them are automated. Our equity portfolios, you get no charge for the automation. And Trader never charges. Trader is $10. For our hedging, you can license out our hedging software. Okay. And you'll still be paying less commission than you were paying, but your account will be traded automatically. Check them out. try.trader.com/Bubba. And they're both scrolling on the sides. And Wall Charts will be on the side as well. Wall Charts is our new partner as well. A trading platform, an educational place, and a great place to be with it. In fact, I'll be doing a webinar with them on the 17th of January. And don't forget about our high school program, which is getting back to be up and running. And we're just in the process of putting in about 500 schools, but we could certainly use your help. Check it on the bottom. That's our high school program. In the meantime, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and, of course, my market commentary. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, the 7th of January, 2024. And again, Happy New Year to all of you. And as we look at the markets had a rough week, and not a surprise. I don't think it was a surprise at all. Although we were long coming in, as I mentioned, I thought that we'd see a little bit of a sell-off. I was really rather hoping for a big rally to sell into, but of course we didn't get that. So now the real question is what happens from here? Well, obviously the trend has turned lower. Markets dropped about 5% last week for various reasons. But again, there's no bigger reason than the economy's in tough shape, in my opinion. Okay. But again, we're not going to fight the tape. Right now, the markets look like they want to head lower. Okay. Now, again, I'm not saying that that's going to be it. I think we saw volume was still lacking. Last week also was still kind of a holiday. Okay, so again, remember, just because the calendar turned from December to January in 2023 to 2024 didn't mean that immediately it was going to get busy on January 2nd. Okay, I would look for more this week going forward, and I would think that might be give us a better idea. Last week's action was on light volume. So it's not that I put a lot of credence into the fact that we were lower for the week, although it was fairly ugly. But again, we'll see. 5% is not really that big a deal. I mean, if you had a $100 stock that went down $5, you wouldn't really panic too much. So I wouldn't think anything yet, but I do think there's a chance that we will see a meltdown. I just don't think it'll be now. I think you'll see a rally here shortly. But we are short. We are short everything but the Dow right now. Okay. And again, we had a rough week, because we're long coming in. But in the meantime, as we look at the rest of the stuff that we trade, the dollar, which continues to rally, one of its strongest starts. Now, again, we don't trade the dollar anymore, and only because it's a cost involved with it using the COMEX versus the actual. So we can use the euro currency, which is just as good, the opposite side. And we are short the euro currency. Okay. After being long for quite a while and doing quite well there. Bitcoin continues to hold pretty well. Now we're still short, okay, because of the big burst. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of good stuff happening with Bitcoin, but expect probably a pretty healthy sell-off, which will be really just another buying opportunity. But we are still short Bitcoin. Bonds and notes continue to get hammered. And as we've said all along, even when we were long, I told you I would prefer to be short. And we're now seeing a little bit of a rise in interest rates. And it's going to be interesting to see if the Federal Reserve can actually try to cut rates, which is, again, more of a political ploy than anything else. But again, the bond market tells us that interest rates are rising. But remember, the 10 years are only back at around 4% when they were almost 5%. So we'll see what it trades. But in the meantime, we are short bonds and notes. We're long gold. It's still holding. I mean, again, it looks okay. We are short silver, which I think will actually turn around as well. Platinum, we would be long if we traded it, but we don't trade anymore because it's just not liquid enough. In the grain markets, grains continue to struggle. Now, again, one of the problems I look at is the lack of volume, the lack of interest. So it's hard to get too excited one way or the other. But at the end of the day, we are short. I am short, but I would be buying corn and wheat in a separate account, which I have. Okay. Again, I think that there's a greater probability for a big rally than there is for a big sell-off. I think the risk lies with being short. But again, in a mass portfolio, it's just a proportion of that portfolio. In the meats, cattle continues to kind of struggle a little bit. Hogs continue to churn. I think the trade is we would be short cattle and long hogs, and I think that is continuing to be the trade. I think you're much better off in a much better position. Crude oil, we are short, but again, I think that there's a chance that it could rally. I mean, but one of the reasons what we see in the crude market is the actual weakness in the economy. That's where it shows up at, because that's a big portion of what we do. So we continue to be short crude right now. In the natural gas, we're long. And again, natural gas, I don't even think of it much this time of year. It's really not that big of a product, but we are long it. Okay. And in the softs, actually, first give me copper. Copper, we're short. In the softs, cocoa, we continue to be long. It continues to try to run a little bit. Cotton, we continue to be short, but I think 79 is a good low. Just over 80 right now. Sugar had another rough week. We are still short. OJ, we're long. Again, I think OJ is cooked, okay, or squeezed or juiced. Look, at the end of the day, as I said, when I got over $4, it was sell it, even though we were long it. And it's even at 3. I think that we're going way lower once again now here. At some point, this will resolve itself out. In coffee, we're now short as well. But at the end of the day, again, markets are markets, and I don't think we got a true picture last week. I think this week and going forward will give us a more cleaner or more true picture. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line, Top Bubba Horowitz. Then let's step out for our final break and come back with, of course, our commentary and football. What's up, kids? Well, anyways, again, Happy New Year to all of you. And as you know, I've got sponsors, and I'm not going to go through the whole spiel. But remember, Capital Trading Group for your futures and commodities, Trade Your Brokerage for equities and options, and our new partner, Wealth Charts for education, and of course, our high school program, all scrolling on the sides of the bottom. In the meantime, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line, and of course, our commentary and football picks. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, January the 7th, 2024. And of course, every week I give you a little bit of commentary. And I don't know about you, but, I am sick of every day hearing someone say that this is racist. This is a racist comment. You're a racist. I mean, first of all, I'm a Jew that grew up in the middle of integration, so I got a pretty good understanding of all this stuff, right? But if you do something wrong or somebody disagrees with you, you're an automatic racist, okay? And watching this country churn from back in the 70s, late 60s, early 70s, and watching from where we were to where we are now, I think we've done a pretty good job of moving forward. And I think that the racism term is way overused. I think it's just a cop-out by a bunch of bullshit, especially when the President of the United States today, currently, is a known racist who has voted for every racist bill going forward. It makes me want to puke when I hear this man call out racism when in his entire career he voted for every racist bill. Go back and look at one of the debates. His vice president called him out on this information. This is not fiction. This is not my opinion. This is fact. Okay. But to always bring in racism to every argument is ridiculous. And in fact, you could make the case that in this country, we have reverse racism. Okay. And that we have a lot of problems that are now created because of what you want to call diversity and everything else. Again, I think that, from the hiring practices to the way who we have to interview. I mean, I'm still from this school. The most qualified should get the job. Okay. No matter what. Okay. It doesn't matter. But again, I am sick and tired of hearing the racism card being played no matter what. If you say one thing that somebody doesn't agree with, you're a racist. If you like that kind of country, God help you. Because to me, this is creating more hatred and more dissension among the citizens than almost anything else that's going on in this country. Anyways, this is Bubba's Bottom Line, Top Bubba Horowitz. And of course, is football in America tonight, and actually tomorrow too, because we got the college championship. But for today, we like Green Bay Packers over the Bears. Now, originally I did like the Bears, but the whole world loves the Bears. Like, the Green Bay cannot win. So I'm going to be contrary and take the Green Bay Packers and lay the 3. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills against the Dolphins tonight and lay the 2.5. Okay. And tomorrow night in the championship of the college football, I'm going to take the Washington Husky. Have a great week, everybody. As always, I thank you so much for being a part of the show. We'll see you back here tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update, and of course next Sunday with Bubba's Online. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you later.